All right. Welcome to Popularity Contest Game Night 2. It's not necessarily a game night. Tonight's going to be a round table with members from the Discord, and we're going to be going over some member-submitted questions and generally about conspiracy theories and get everyone's opinion on different ones. It's just going to be kind of fun. Everyone here is cool, so nobody fights each other when we talk about stuff like this. On the Discord, we disagree often. And it's always civil, so I figured why not do it like this? It'd be kind of fun. We had a good time last time. We have a few repeat participants and some new ones. So I'll start from the top of the list, going down. Dead Kelly's here. How are you doing, Dead Kelly?
Good, thank you, Will. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. But, real quick, everybody doesn't respond how I'm doing because now we've already established that I'm doing well. Okay? So you don't have to be polite. Gaia, how are you doing? Gaia's next on the list.
Excelente.
Didn't ask me how I was doing. That's fine. LSP, I see you're muted. Are you participating?
Oh yeah, I am here. I have arrived.
And queer and ready to go.
Ready to go. Ready to talk about myself. My favorite subject.
That's my favorite subject too. Yourself. Shimi, how is it going?
Hello, I'm Shimmy. I'm doing good.
Is it shimmy? Like the dance?
It is, yeah.
Shimmy it is. Okay. Skylarkin, are you awake still in England?
Yeah, present and correct. How are you, Will?
Oh, good God. I'm doing fine, but I hope I didn't blow up your spot by giving it away that you're in England. I don't...
Oh shit, MI5, they'll be fucking on to me now. I'm in trouble.
Finally, we are joined by Uninstall Media, also known as James, in case I start referring to him as James. Uninstall Media, how's it going?
Zajebistia, which means super cool in Polish.
Oh, I thought you were referencing diabetes with an accent and like a thick Russian accent. Diabetes. Okay, so we're going to start off right away.
Sorry, the last one on the list, please.
Oh my God,
let me ask you. There was a 4-engine plane going over, so I didn't want to interrupt the recording with that. So that's why I was short and didn't ask you. So how are you, host Willus?
Good God, man. I'm still good. I was better near the top of the list, but actually, the more I worked it down, the more people I got through. My mood's starting to change, so that actually is relevant for you to ask. I didn't realize that it was going to change so much. What with Shimi trying to make it all about herself, changing the pronunciation of her name. But I'm doing pretty well. Shimi? Is that your... Do you mind if I ask, is that your real name, or is that like from this, like Shimmy the song? Are you just like that word?
Shamiran's my full name. Shimmy's my street name.
Street name. They're very hood. Okay.
That's an awesome
all right.
nickname. Shimmy is a great nickname.
It is a great nickname. Okay. And nobody take offense. If I ever just say everyone's talking over each other's stuff, we just got to be on the same page here. And it's only for the good of the marks watching at home, which will be probably... Let's be honest. One more person than who is here right now. Like one additional person that's not here will listen to this. And anyway, okay. So we're going to start off right away. I've got a random number generator on the screen. You guys can't see it, but rest assured, I'm being honest. We're going to go through the questions. Starting right now, I'm going to start randomly generating. People can see I'm stopping on question number 41. And we're going to start at the top of the list, work our way around. So this is hilarious. This is probably the least conspiracy question on the list, but it also happens to be my favorite. So it's funny that we're starting off with it. Let's just start off with a bang. Hey, Dead Kelly, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you fuck a tranny if you found it attractive? It.
No.
This is not a conspiracy question.
Yes, it is. What are you talking about? It's EGI. It's
Well, I
under
think
the
we know who
EGI.
submitted that question now.
I
Because they got
know it's
defensive.
Skylarking's question.
Yeah.
It's Skylarking's question.
She got very
I think
defensive right away.
Skylarking would beg a tranny. That's proof.
It's about sex, so it must be skylarking. Sorry, it's
I
about
think it's
sex,
about
so it's
Skylarkin's question just because she was the only one that defended.
That's rude. That's rude. Go on, Dead Kelly. Answer the question.
Go on, Dead
please.
Kelly. Yeah, would you? I mean, what kind of question is this? Actually, would
I
anybody?
already answered it. There was just too much going on at the time, and you didn't hear me. I'll repeat myself. It's no.
Sorry.
It's a no. This is a good question because we can just move right along here unless anybody would say yes. I think.
No, the thing is, I wouldn't find it attractive, so by definition, no.
You would only have sex with something
Yeah,
you find
but-
attractive.
Yeah, and I don't find trannies attractive. How an attractive tranny doesn't exist in my world.
That's fine. So I disagree because that actually I've talked to a member on here.
We've all been tricked before. We've
That's
all been
absolutely
tricked
correct.
before, guys. I know.
One of the members on here, when he went on a vacation to Asia, he slipped through Thailand, not for the reasons that some of you might want to think. I don't think. I wasn't there. Well, I don't want to throw him under the bus,
right.
but geez, maybe. And he says that the problem in Thailand is you get drunk, you do drugs, and then you have to remind yourself that the most beautiful women are always men, which I think is kind of a funny racist thing to say. They're like, they have ugly women. If it's attractive, it's a dude. Anyway, okay, so we're going to move right along. That was a good question to start off with. Sky Larkin. Clearly that was you.
Alrighty then.
I would just add that just because I say on the air or to my friends like you guys that I would never bang a tranny, I just wonder what would really happen if I was put in the moment. You never know.
That means
never know.
yes.
Exactly. I thought
I'm not
we'd have a
admitting it.
deeper
I'm not admitting it. But I'm not admitting it because you guys will make fun of me.
What's going on with my camera? I didn't know this was
No,
going to be
but
a
I
point of
thought it-
contention. I honestly didn't think that was going to be the case. So,
I thought it would be a deeper discussion though, because you know, it's these days it's hard to tell, isn't it? I think it would be difficult for men. I think women are able to detect a lot easier, but men, I think they're getting, you know,
In real life? Not these clowns on TV, these moving images, but in real life, you would someone in flesh and blood, you would not recognize that.
no, this is not the question. This is irrelevant to the question. The question is, would you knowingly? It's would you do
For
it?
begging.
It's not could you be tricked? Anyone could be tricked. No one's going to judge someone for being tricked. It's would you, if you found it attractive, would you fuck a tranny? You'd have to know it's a tranny in order to say yes to this question. A transgender individual.
And the clarifying point would be: at what point in the encounter do you find out? Is it going into it, or when the pants come down?
Right. Yeah.
when the pants come down, when you're already
Pre-op or
around,
post-op.
and
I'm sorry.
when you're already up for it, is how I thought of it in my mind. That question, when you're already
So it was
in
your
the
question.
heat of the moment. No, it wasn't mine.
It wasn't mine.
Asking for a tranny friend? Asking for a tranny friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, asking.
Well,
for
I think the answer is no,
but I
though.
think-
That's the answer. The answer for
Okay.
everyone was no.
Fair enough.
I think everyone is aware that anybody can be tricked for anything, and that's different than choosing to do that. Okay, we got another random question, and it's question number 6. This question, contentious. Now we might have to go to the judges here to even pull up the official number, but how many people died at the Boston bombing?
Oh.
So I'm gonna pull up the official number right now, okay? And maybe I'll pull it up on the screen for anyone. Okay, so we're going. How many people died at the Boston bombing? Dead Kelly, are you a Boston bombing truther?
I'd say that I am, and I'll also own up to being the person that put this question down, and
Okay.
unless there's double ups here,
So
but
the
I got no idea. I don't like for real. I've got no idea at all. what the number
that's
is.
fair. So the official number was that 3 civilians were killed, 264 were injured, and an estimated 264. So it says there's an estimated 264. 27 were treated at the local hospital, and 14 people required amputations. Okay. I honestly don't look into this kind of stuff because I have a thing where, I mean, I have opinions on some of these things, but I'm always afraid that I'm going to like be wrong and then I'm going to be like, you know, literally murdering someone, not spiritually murdering them. Like I'm going to be having like, I don't like looking at something that might be real and being like, that's fake. And then I just spent like hours autistically looking at like real dead bodies or something. I think that's something not great for the soul. Some people don't mind that though. So how about anyone else here? Gaia, do you have an opinion on this?
Well, I looked quite a bit into the Boston bombings, and I would say 23 plus 2. So if you're saying 3, that means there was only one person at this marathon, because the 2 others, the elder Joker brother and the younger Joker brother. The elder
They got arrested
on the street. Oh, the younger one, you're right. He was arrested, but the brother was on the street in a shootout with the police. It was all a very theoretical production, what I saw.
Their names.
So there's only 2.
I remember their names when, like, I don't remember their names, but they had like those whatever Middle Eastern names. I remember they had them on like the cover of Rolling Stones, and they're like, "This is the people that were behind the Boston bombing." And I went to read their names, and I was like, "Dinosaurs did the Boston bombing?" They were like Mesotrapopos and like whatever their names were. I was like, "That's pretty impressive."
Sarnaev.
Yeah.
Joker. And his brother Billy.
So, what about you, LSP? Do you have an opinion on this?
I always kind of figured that nobody probably died during that, but I'm not sure. But
Okay.
but I would think that nobody died. It's a fake thing, you know.
Like a rule of thumb on these like major media events, is in your opinion?
Yeah,
Fine.
But I don't really look into it that much either, because how can you really tell by just doing internet searching?
Right.
Unless you were hitting the streets doing real investigation.
That's a good point, because a lot of people, what they do is when they can't do it that way, what they do is they go to the numbers and they start doing their magic number games. They got their gematria, you got your esoteric occult numerology, all this stuff, and then they use that as an additional. That's almost like a source for them. It's like a proof. So, and you know, it's not one way or another if that's the right answer or not. But I do notice that some people do that.
I haven't done any so-called research on that one, but I've only heard a bunch of carnies pontificating about it, so I'm gonna say I have no answer.
Okay. Let's see. Shimi, do you have an opinion on this one? Are you like one of these? Oh, she left. Okay. Skylark, and I know you've got probably a radical opinion on these. You get radical all the time on this shit.
No, well, yeah, I do a bit. But I mean, I suppose. I mean, I've heard about it on PK Truth. He did a little thing on it. He's like stands now. He's notorious and says that he was like the first person to break it down and everything. Did good work on it and everything.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But I assume like LSP, it would be a nobody died, nobody cried type thing. It's got, you know, all the elements of a big psyop and all the rest of it, but I don't know.
So I was working at my old job when this happened, and I was actually on Reddit at the time when everybody was following, and a lot of people did this, but following the police scanners, and I was listening to it, and I was pretty, I was just taking it hook, line, and sinker. Like I figured I was following it exactly how it was happening, and it was legitimate and all that. So I was definitely like participating in the manhunt, like all these internet people were at the time, where they're like, we're all helping each other by listening, you know. So that's really the extent, other than like hearing people talk about it. I've never honestly looked into it, just because like one of the like a lot of these things you'll get this. I'll be giving this answer a lot because I just know that like the sources are dubious. It's like I don't know how to tell the difference between some sources on certain types of topics. So I like to stick more to like science and stuff when it comes to conspiracy theories, things that I can like at least disprove their claim. I can't disprove somebody's claim on something like this with internet research. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I don't subscribe to like, and not that to say that some of this stuff's wrong, but I don't subscribe to like the numerology stuff that other people do or some of these occult symbolism things, and that does work for them. You know, that's so I almost just I'm like, you know, it's gonna just be a guess. What am I doing here? Okay, let's do another random generator. Look at this. We're just keeping this so civil. Nobody fought.
I can't believe Shimmy bailed already.
Well, because her friend was just like, fake shootings, fake bombing.
It was probably the tranny thing, I thought. Maybe the tranny thing.
What if the person was a transgender person?
Triggered.
Oh my gosh, you got so yesterday I was my neighbor was having a cookout, and he's like a big old like Trump mark, you know what I mean? Like alt-right guy every day. He's like, I used to be in a band with him, and then he moved next door to me, and we still would jam sometimes, but he's like every day sending me Jewish memes and all this stuff, like all the time. Name the Jew, he's always saying, like joking. And his new girlfriend, he told me she's like super like normie liberal, like Mark, like super liberal Mark, like mainstream everything, and like really passionate, follows it and stuff. So my wife comes over, and she's clearly pregnant, and they're asking, you know, are you having a boy or a girl? And she was like, oh, we're having a girl. And I was like, and my friends looked at me because I have 2 sons, and they know I wanted another boy. And I was like, yeah, I know. We found out it's a girl, so now I started supporting transgender rights. And, and then the girl like looked. She was
My
like,
coffee.
Excuse me? And I was like, and then Kim's like, my wife, you know, she's like, oh, it's a girl, you know, it is a girl. I go, yeah, I don't appreciate you. You know, it's a non-binary baby. I can already tell. So I'm supporting this. So I started coming around on transgenderism to troll this woman, and she got mad. She just turned around, walked away. And she comes back later, asks my son what grade he's in, because she's got a kid, I guess. My son's homeschooled, and he like got embarrassed because he was like didn't know what to say. He's only 7, and I was like, I just chimed in to make him feel better. I was like, grades. I was like, what kind of people talk about grades anymore? What year is it? I said, that's white people shit. And she got like real upset that I said that. So I think he's told me though. I think he still got laid last night though, so I didn't ruin it for him. I felt kind of bad, but
your 7-year-old got laid.
No! Whoa! No! My neighbor. My neighbor nailed that libtard last night.
Oh. Is that the Q guy?
Yeah.
You mentioned before.
He was a Q guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I bet it's fun living next to them, man.
Oh, it's awesome. Every day I go out and he's just like, trust the plan, brother. And I'm like, fucking keep on keeping on, dude. Absolutely. Absolutely trust the plan. Fuck yeah.
Never stop. Never stop.
And I'll just get them riled up too. I'll get them going sometimes because I know all their talking points because it's so fascinating to me. So I'll just say things that'll get him triggered. And he's like, absolutely, the goddamn deep state. And I'll like if we're getting rain when we weren't supposed to get rain, and I'll just be like, that was those Jews probably. And he's like, probably, yeah. Like he's very serious. He's a good guy though. He's a good.
That's hilarious.
Guy. All right.
LGBTQAnon.
Oh, there you go. LGBTQ, no, that's not bad. I'm gonna bring that up to him, see how he responds. Okay.
Cool.
Number 39 is the next number, and this one is a fun one. Is Alex Jones Bill Hicks?
No.
Okay, so that's uninstall media. That's like pretty much right away. You're like, there's no way. Dead Kelly.
I'm on the fence. I'm going to sit on the fence.
Interesting.
Yeah. He could be. He might not be. I don't know.
Well, that's not a fucking answer, but that's a fair answer. That's actually a pretty fair answer. How about you, Gaia? I think is a yes. Gaia is a yes.
I would say written with capitals no, and written normally yes.
What?
Can you elaborate on that statement?
Yeah, I learned that if you write your name with capitals, then it's legal.
Oh.
That is the legal name, your birth name, your legal name. So there can only be one Alex Jones and one Bill Hicks. But I think this transition happened. I've read so many points that point to it that it's scientific, right? That's scientific research. If you have so many data points that point to the same thing.
Depends on the data points. They're both men. They
Oh.
both are, in their 50s or whatever. They both would be. That's like the
Not-
standard.
And the things that go against it, so they have the same height. That's important. If they're not the same height, they cannot be the same person, right? So the debunking points are not there. So that's why I'm very, I see that as a very big possibility.
So height, Skylarkin, we've talked about this before. You're a Bill Hicks truther.
Yeah, definite yes.
What are some of your
I
data?
think
What are
they're
some of your
the
guys'
same
data points
way.
on this? Other than height, we got height. What are some other like popular ones? Because I'm not really.
It's the ear as well. The ear position is the same.
People love
They've
the
got
ear
the
stuff.
same.
They love the ear stuff.
Yeah, the ear stuff is very important. Like
Oh, we got a mark for
imperative.
Dallas Goldbug here. We got a mark for Dallas.
People
Goldbug.
love that shit. Yeah.
Who's that? Give me a
That is a fallacy there, because it's not one case, because this one case I see, all the other cases that Dallas go back, I followed him a little bit, I completely bullshit. So it's this case specifically, yes.
That's fair. LSP,
So-
you're probably. I feel like we talked about it too. I do remember that. You're a Bill Hicks truther, right? Alex Jones, Bill Hicks. Can he speak right now? He might not be able to talk. I think he's at work around this time. It is the weekend though.
He's muted.
He might be working for the weekend. You're muted if you're listening. If we're just gonna move on here. Okay, yeah. My opinion on Bill Hicks, Alex Jones, is that I do not think they are the same, because, and mine is only from the standpoint of their performance. I have studied Bill Hicks a lot when I was doing comedy, and I don't see a lot of the mannerisms in Alex Jones.
Same.
And that's the end of it. That doesn't mean somebody can't study. I mean, actors, they have tics and stuff and gives, but that's not a full giveaway. But for me, that's what it is. It's about the mannerisms. It's about the speech pattern, and the joke structuring and the setting up of jokes. He doesn't do the Bill Hicks. They have like certain mechanics in his jokes, very common, and it's very possible that he just changed those. But a lot of them are to each individual comedian, they are second nature to a lot of that stuff. So it's almost like it's like an organic way they communicate their humor. But he's also Bill Hicks, high level comedian, so he was probably working on a much more complicated mechanical stand up comedy, little shtick than maybe I'm giving him credit for too. So I'll concede to that. But yeah, other than that, that's what I got on it. So I always have said no. The way they look, of course, I see it. I've seen people do the side by sides. That's undeniable. It's very funny.
Same manager though, and best friends.
True.
I mean,
No, that's
exactly
a good point.
the same person.
He wrote
oh shit, I forgot what it was now. There's
same
something
manager. What was that guy's
really
name?
important.
Kevin
Oh,
Booth.
I can't remember. I can't remember his name. But
Kevin
it's the
Booth
same
could
person.
be, yeah, that could be.
It's Kevin Booth.
Kevin
Yeah.
Booth.
That's his. I believe,
Kevin Booth.
as far as I remember.
Can I come back to your point, Wilus? Because I very much take your view on this seriously, because it's your professional and your character view. I do have experience in comedy and showing these things, right? But what about the idea? Because I see both of them as truth tellers of their age. What about the age changed, and so they changed completely as well, post 9/11 and before 9/11, early 90s and 2000s and up.
No,
They adapted their style completely differently to the clown world that it became.
Hold on. Isn't there a point here where, timeline-wise, they existed congruently in their own media
Correct.
spheres?
100%. That's factually accurate. One thing about Alex Jones, that's the man is so much younger than he looks, than he claims to be. He claims to only be 47 years old, which is absolutely insane to me.
And he's about Bill Hicks' age, what he would be, which is 53, I think, or something now. And he
was
looks
born
like
in
53.
61,
You're
so
wrong.
he'd be like 13 years older than Alex Jones claims to be. Alex Jones was born in 74.
And he looks.
Which
I just
I'll
think
concede
there's
on
no
that.
way.
That one has always got me because I'm like Bill Hicks Bill Hicks. Here we go. Alex Jones. Whenever he says his age, every time he's ever said his age, it blows my mind. I think he's trying to be funny, and then I look it up and confirm it. I have to like right now when I said I knew he's older or he's younger than he looks older than he says, and I looked it up. Every time I'm like, oh my god, he's even. I was honestly thinking 52 is how old he was. He's 5 years younger than 5 years younger than that. Hey, Original Simulant has joined us, co-host Popularity Contest. How's it going?
Good. Popularity Contest. Podcast.com.
That is not our
Patreon.
website. That's not a website.
Sounds so enthusiastic.
It's not a real thing. Oh yeah.
As of Monday, I would suggest it is there for all the millions of listeners.
It could be. I'll check and see right now if it's available. Hey, Original Simulant, are you a Bill Hicks truther?
I'm not sure what that means.
Alex Jones, Bill Hicks?
Alex Jones is Bill Hicks?
Yeah.
No.
You're not. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not either.
I don't really believe it. No, I don't really have any reason to believe it. So.
Sorry to interject. Sorry to interrupt. Can I just ask one more thing about this Bill Hicks, Alex Jones thing? Like, how do you explain then how I think it was one or two interviews where the person called Alex Bill? Like, is that deliberate or something? Yeah, he responded.
I honestly don't know.
And he always
sure.
says
I've never seen.
I know.
And it's like Alex Jones is aware of it, and he kind of enjoys the attention he gets from it.
Joe Rogan asked him on the podcast, point blank, like as a joke. He was just like, "Are you Bill Hicks?" And he was like, "Yes, I am. You've got it right." I've got him up on the screen right now.
He wishes he was Bill Hicks. He wishes he was as funny as Bill Hicks.
Yeah. I mean, if he would be bombing on purpose. Personally, I'm not a Bill Hicks fan in the slightest, because I think the only reason his stuff worked for a lot of people is that he's very talented. So talented, especially for his age at the time, all that. But
incredible performer.
People liked the idea that they're like, oh my, he's like one of those, oh, it's so true kind of comedians where that's what people are laughing at. Oh my God, it's so true. And so it's kind of like a soapbox comedian is what I call him. George Carlin was the same thing, and it doesn't mean like the content wasn't accurate. A lot of stuff they talk about was accurate, but like by the time I listened to them, I didn't listen to him when I was younger or anything. I listened to him like when I started having like this type of mindset. So like as I'm hearing it, I'm like, I don't see why that's funny, because he's just saying like true things. But then you got to I got to put myself in the head of the audience at the time, who were actually, he was, quote unquote, like waking people up at live comedy, where they were laughing at being like, oh my God, I'm such a hypocrite. He's right. That stuff is true. My beliefs are
well,
whack.
And he came up too, like before the internet was a major thing in everyone's life.
Yeah.
So we didn't have all these conspiracy memes at the time. It was all relegated to like VHS tapes and, weird records like Myron Fagan and shit like that. Like, I just don't see how Bill Hicks as a performer could deviate from his natural state of performance, because that's just what he did.
I tend to think that Alex Jones is a lot more sincere, or has been at least at some point. I don't know about anymore. I don't listen to him, but I think he is a lot more sincere in his beliefs than people give him credit for. I think he panders a whole lot to his marks because he makes money off of them and all that stuff. But I don't know that it was ever apparent to me that he secretly believes something he's not telling people about. But I honestly don't know. He could, like, because if he's Bill Hicks, then he's a great actor. So that means of course he could be. It opens up like everything he's saying is done for a reason. Then so this would only be assuming that my point is correct, which is that he's not Bill Hicks. Because if he is Bill Hicks, then anything goes as far as like what his intentions could be and his ability to act and everything.
But that is how I see Alex Jones as well. I mean, I see him as a sincere, and especially since the Corona cost started, 3/11. Why is he a shill? Who put that into our heads that he is a shill, a controlled opposition? All that. Of course he is, right? He has a big platform. He has people who control him in a way. But why couldn't he be honest in his opinions, and the act is on top of that. And that is why I think it is perfectly viable that Bill Hicks had another personality, and he had time to work on that, and that became Alex Jones. I don't see that.
So I've got on the screen right now some comparisons, and something, this isn't being pointed out in this. It's like one of those like points to the ears stuff and all that stuff, which is very fun. But something I'm observing on the screen right now is the lines in their face, their smile lines, don't seem to be in the same. They're not the same shape. They're not smiling the same way. I'll give it that. But they don't seem to be located in the same spot, and they do change over your life. I understand, but I also am seeing something that's showing that they both have similar birthmarks on their neck, but that could be added in photo. So I don't really take that as proof of anything, especially when people are like.
What about the way that they both raised their voice and the same energy that they have? Like that for me is something is really obvious.
Well, that's a performance technique.
If anything, AJ probably took notes from Bill Hicks.
Well, and Bill, but that was a common thing in the '80s, a common thing for comics to do, and it's a technique to,
like people emulate Sam Kinison or
Sam Kinison, exactly. He was like the pioneer of that,
right?
Richard Pryor.
You see, I think
so. It's like for Bill Hicks to actually sound like Alex Jones, he would have to undergo some kind of vocal cord surgery, which is anher point that I think people have alleged.
Both Southern accents, though. If he was going to do it, it would be less effort. If he, he wouldn't have to change his accent. So we can go there. We'll put a little bit in there.
But Bill Hicks didn't have that. Bill Hicks didn't have that gravelly kind of voice.
That's true.
He did a bit though. He would do that gravel thing,
Well, I mean, he chain smoked. He chain smoked cigarettes, but like he didn't sound like Alex Jones. Never did. He would have to put on that act consistently for years and years and years.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Which is the globalists are coming.
But James, do you or John Adams sound like Alex Jones normally? He has a very easy voice to make, so.
That's true.
Yeah, for sustainable for like 10, 15 minutes, perhaps over the course of several hours, you can dip in and out of it. But to sustain that for 3 hours a day, every day for fucking 20 years?
Well, I don't think that like Rush Limbaugh, when he goes to Starbucks, is, I get a tall mocha frappuccino. Yeah. I mean, radio people do that. They that's like why they make the big bucks. Their affect, their personality. So that, I don't think that's a good proof, even though I'm still on your side. All right, we're starting to fight now, everybody. Let's calm this down. All right, we're moving on.
Can I ask one question, please? That Kelly said at the beginning, I'm on the fence, and I'm interested in how he changed, if he changed to one or the other side.
Were you ever on one side of the fence?
I'm not convinced that that Bill Hicks morphed into Alex Jones. It's I can't say either way. I'd err on the side of no. I'm definitely not convinced, so I don't believe that Alex Jones is. I'm not saying that it's not possible. What I was trying to think about were I guess ways that it could have worked, and we hear the stories of method acting where somebody they just meditate on a character and they live that character, they become the character, and they do that successfully with different characters over their careers. So it could be possible.
Yeah, that man
could be possible to do that.
Yeah, that Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey when he took over that what's his name? OS. Who's that?
Andy Kaufman.
Kaufman.
Yeah. Oh, Gaia, that's interesting. Do you go by OS now, motherfucker?
He channeled that character.
Okay.
Original stimulant.
That's true, but that was for a movie. That was for a movie, filmed over a short duration of time, where he could inhabit that character.
But the point of it, did you see the documentary about it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because the whole point was like he was such a fucking freak that he was like embodying Andy Kaufman when he was around Andy's family and making them cry because they were thinking he was Andy. Like he's such a freak, a fucking weirdo. Like these people are mentally unhinged. That a lot of those method acting people, or at least there are a lot of examples of it. That doesn't mean everyone that does it is, but I think it takes a certain type of a person to be able to pull that off. And there's no denying that Alex Jones is an eccentric and a attention whore and all these things. So you know what?
Are we playing?
He's Bill Hicks. Let's just say. So we all agree he's Bill Hicks is Alex Jones.
We're doing the question game.
He's Bill Hicks.
Questions. Is that what's happened here? We're doing the game. People have submitted questions. I'm late, so
yes,
what's
that's
going
exactly
on?
what's happened.
Okay.
People have submitted. This is just one of the questions. What are your thoughts on this? We are moving on. We will move on to the next one unless you have anyone has any other comments to make on this. Any more thoughts, questions? That they want anyone else to try to answer for?
I've got just my thoughts. Sorry to be a pain because I know you want to move.
That's fine.
But I was just gonna say that to me it just seems logical because they're like the complete opposites of one another. Well, it's just I suppose Bill, because I loved Bill Hicks, and I used to watch his comedy a lot, and Alex Jones, someone I never really gave a shit about. But then obviously I watched a stupid conspiratory video and I was like completely sold by it. And it just seemed to make more and more sense to be the complete opposite of what you were, but still with the same message. So that was it. I just wanted to share that because I thought
I think that someone
clever.
like Bill Hicks, like as much of a reach as Alex Jones has had, I think that he could have had, if he really wanted his message to be put out there, I think he could have reached more people if he maintained Bill Hicks, if that was the case. Because comedians having like he was already like an HBO comedian and stuff at that age, like so young, So Bill Hicks, or Alex Jones has reached a lot of people, but mostly in name only. Bill Hicks, I think, maybe not though. A lot of people know comedians. That doesn't mean to consume their content, but he was going to be an all-time like star, I think.
Yeah.
But that doesn't that doesn't mean he's not Alex Jones because
why make the switch to conservative AM radio?
No, you're right. But the point is, I guess
if you're on that trajectory,
I don't know. Don't you ever think people get sick of like the characters they play or
not comedians,
the people they are? It might have
not comedians, not professional comedians that are young. I don't think they do. I think that is all about getting dopamine drips, and what Bill Hicks would have had to do was go from crushing to public access TV and local AM radio that no one listened to for
obscurity.
A while. So he was gonna have to be taking like a lot, but the whole point of the conspiracy theory is he's doing it for a reason. He's like a shill of some sort, or he's a disinfo agent or something, or he's just doing it for himself.
He might have just wanted out of the game,
That's
and
possible.
Then later on he thought, I want back in, but I'm supposed to be dead now, so this guy seems.
He can be more of himself if he's doing his own gig. Maybe the
just seems like a lot of work.
Who says that Bill Hicks was real?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, right.
Right. Why is that the supposition?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's the method acting bit where he was method acting. It could have been a guy method acting
as
Bill
a comedian.
Hicks, and
very young.
He was just acting like a comedian.
Yeah,
Man,
Bill Hicks was contrived.
You're blowing my mind right now.
Oh,
So,
ideas.
Don't be a mark.
His ID here?
He was raised. So what? So what's the supposition then? There, he was raised in some weird, obscure community that's just like, you're gonna do this false thing for a number of years, then you're gonna move on to do this other false thing for a number.
He might have been experimenting.
It's all possible.
Might have just been
He was 33 when he died.
Work out the gematria.
Well, that settles it then.
So how many people think it's the same person? Could it be two different people playing two different roles?
Right, of course. It could be triplets. They could have triplets, and they all play.
Every comedian is playing a role. All comedians are playing a
100%.
role.
Yeah, that's 100%. It's a performance. They're performance artists. That's all they are. But so is a radio host. That's selling.
But not everybody's good at it. Not everybody's good at it, and
anyone
their
who's
roles
a professional. Anyone who's a professional is doing that. It's entertainment. That's all it is. It's not. You don't go up there and just be yourself, and then if it's funny, people pay you money. It's a performance. It's all craft. It's a craft to it. That's why we were talking about earlier about if you're comparing the way they yell at each other or they do the yelling bit. Like that's a rhetorical like mind control technique. That's like a psychological technique to get the audience attentions, and you're cueing them to laugh at this moment. Like when I do this tone, you know that it's time to laugh. You know, it's like so I don't know. So ID joined us. He was here on the last show. ID, how's it going?
That's fantastic. How are you guys?
We're all doing really good. And
Good, thanks.
we've been going through a few questions. We only got through like 3 of them, honestly, because we had a good long classic
third
Bill
question
Hicks,
was a
Alex
doozy.
Jones take.
We've got Harkview Cinema
do know
as well.
That,
We did.
Uh-oh.
I think
Is she
it's
here
like
still?
one of JLB's shows. It's like 8, 10 something. It's me, JLB, and Revnika Daddy talking about this subject, and I think Revnika pretty much says that he does not think that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks.
He worked with him for a weekend.
Right. We were we didn't go into it full tilt, but we said we were going to come back to it, and it's not that interesting, I don't think. But I don't think it's the same guy. What we talked about was like, are they brothers? Are they actually blood brothers? Like, there's another factor there, like Russ saying, he's even a real guy with that name. I mean, they could be 2 different people that are brothers, right? So.
No, that's true.
Well, it's quite possible that they crossed paths at some point. They probably did, because they were in the Austin scene and whatever.
That's true. And
Here's the real question.
They were both at Waco at the same time.
Here's the real question: trannies. All right. Were they born women?
OS, you missed it. First question of the night was
definitely
would you bang a tranny?
Oh God!
If you knew, and would you be attracted
Post
to?
up.
And would you be attracted to, quote, it? Real quick, though, Harkview Cinema is with us. Is that what you're going by here, Harkview?
Well, you can call me Mimi.
Mimi?
Like a meme.
Sure, why not?
Mimi. Okay.
Mimi.
Okay. How are you doing tonight?
I'm super. How are you? Am I coming through okay? Are you able to hear me?
Absolutely. You're coming through good. Your levels are all fantastic. So we got a full house here tonight. Are you a Alex Jones, Bill Hicks truther?
I thought we were moving on.
I don't
Wait, no. I don't want to drag you into the past. Let's move forward.
That's fantastic. Okay, we're doing
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
Should we? Yeah. What's the structure been for us who've just joined lately? What's the structure?
The structure is we have a random number generator that's on my screen, and it's on the screen for all the marks watching, the millions of marks watching at home. And I have a list of questions, member submitted questions, generally related to conspiracy theories. I randomly generate a number, we pick the question, and we go down the list from the top of the list on the Discord server in the voice channel, and we ask everyone their opinions, and then we just kind of digress. We talk about things.
Kind of spitball at the end, though. Everybody kind of gets their shit in at one at a time, and then at the end, it's kind of opened up. Is that?
Yeah, generally, but some of the questions, they're just. It's almost like does anybody disagree with this? If you disagree, then just say yes, and we can move on. Like the tranny one, that was pretty obvious. It's right. Everyone doesn't need to give their opinion. I think I got it, but we turned out like LSP was like thinking about it. It turned out, so that was interesting.
But I just want to admit it to you guys, how would I admit that? That would be silly.
And then Skylarkin got real defensive when nobody said yes.
How very dare you?
So we should.
Not that I would do a tranny. I would like.
Okay, I have a question to the women in the room. What's doing a tranny? So that'd be like, if you're straight, that'd be like it's a girl that's actually a guy. So that'd be kind of like lesbian stuff, which that's not bad. Would you do lesbo stuff?
Wait. No. Is it a chick with a dick?
Either.
Like, is it a guy with a dick?
Fair question. So,
because I would do that.
No.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
Good for you. Good for you.
See, we're very progressive on popularity contest.
Skylarkin is DMing. Skylarkin is DMing Harkview Cinema as we speak.
That's absolutely.
Oh no!
What?
What's her name? Bailey James? Bailey Jones? Bailey James? There's this one really cool tranny porno actress that I like a lot.
Bailey Jones?
I can tell.
I think Bailey James or it's Bailey something, but her dick's a little bit small.
Where's Kazooie?
Kazooie's not here. He
CP.
didn't show up.
Oh,
He's the producer for the goddamn show. Didn't show up. I'm producing live right now. I mean, I'm really spitballing here.
He's fucked up on Delta.
Are we live?
No,
are
we're
we
not
live or
We are
recording?
not live. We were recording, but we are not live. But I'm working live to do all of this, and I'm stress level through the roof, because we're talking about trainees. So I'm trying to pay attention. I'm also getting a little horny, and it's a whole thing. Okay, so we're moving on to the next question, and the next question is random generator. Stop. Number 3. So on your bingo cards at home, everybody. Question number 3 is, this is fun. Did Epstein kill himself? Classic Mark question. Going down the list, starting at the top with Mr. Dead Kelly. How do you feel about Epstein stuff?
Yeah, I'd say that he didn't kill himself. That the toilet paper just wouldn't have been strong enough to snap his neck.
Okay, so you're pretty much a mainstream conspiracy Mark take on Epstein didn't kill himself. That's fine. Okay.
Amongst other topics, yes.
That's fine. Because some people go with the whole thing's not real, and that's why I'm wondering if we're going to come across one of those people.
We should digress into that later, kind of.
God.
You see what I'm saying?
Here goes another half an hour.
Yeah,
Are we going down the line?
We are. I was just wondering.
I chose not to go that way.
Well,
Definitely
I'm so
chose not
sorry
to
for
take
having.
that.
Yeah, I'm doing this. This is like a fucking. I'm just spitballing here, trying to follow my heart on these my responses. But Gaia, Skylarkin, you aren't even close to near this part of the list. You shut your British mouth up.
No, I was actually going to say, yeah, you go, because you're right. You explained it was a round table to begin with, but fuck you, motherfucker.
Sorry, as a tranny or as you yourself?
Easy.
Sorry.
Gaia, what is your take
Triangular
on
table.
What's your take on Epstein, Gaia?
Yeah, that's the thing. I was going to say, with Epstein, I was already unmarked. I already was completely out of the clown world. We were talking, please guys, stop doing any news, and so that's when we met, right, at Fakeologist.
Right.
And
so
that is
you just
that
didn't
level.
even. You're just like
yes
out.
or no. Yes or no.
I don't know even. I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything. It's not my life.
Moving on.
Move on.
Parkview Cinema. Are you a Epstein truther?
I don't like those two words so close together.
Yeah, truther is the gayest word there is.
Yeah.
I love
because
calling
I'm
people
not
truther. I love making people admit that they're a truther.
I'm not
very funny.
Well, see, there's a difference. Since I'm as woke as fuck as I am, I'm more of a knower than a truther.
Oh, so did you know if Epstein killed himself?
I do not know.
Okay, that's fair. That was very funny. I'm a knower, and I do not know. That's fine. ID, I know you have. You've run the numbers on this one.
Nobody died. Nobody got hurt.
That's fine.
And that's a fact.
There you go. That's fine. Quick, concise, to the point. LSP, radical.
Did not kill himself. Didn't kill himself. Probably not even dead.
Not dead.
Wasn't even a person. Wasn't just an actor. Anyway.
Okay, so pretty much
kill
online with
himself.
the ID. Okay, interesting. OS, you're a huge truther.
Big time. It depends on what you mean by kill himself.
Jesus.
So
Christ.
you mean a history of cigarette abuse and stuff like that, or are we talking about I'm not real familiar with the story.
What I mean is what I'm gonna do if you keep on talking to me like
suicide.
This. What I'm gonna do to myself.
In a jail cell.
That kind of kill. Like what I'm gonna do on camera on YouTube right now for all these people. If you give me a response like that again for the rest of the night, smoking cigarettes. What the fuck? Did Epstein kill himself?
I'm gonna go with fake and gay is
fake
the
and
answer.
Gay. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Oh, beautiful answer.
Now, Skylarkin, if we can get your drunk babbling opinion.
Oh, I'm drinking too, Skylarkin. Bud Lights.
Ooh.
Yeah, cheers. I've got red wine. Cheers, OS. I don't think he did kill himself. However,
yes,
a friend of mine who is a source close to the ground, obviously, because I know people like that. has claimed it was Hillary Clinton. So there you go.
That's a common.
Hillary
That's a common
Clinton
take.
Epstein is Clinton, or what? He's
that the
like,
Clintons were responsible. I mean, that's the typical Mark answer. I mean, I don't fucking know.
That's
I don't
fine.
know. But yeah.
Oh
Yeah, that
my
sounds
goodness.
all I
like
know
pure
is
nonsense.
if he was still alive, I would volunteer to be on, to be
Epstein
used
Island.
by Epstein. Yes, I'd be
Yeah.
hire me,
Absolutely.
$13 an hour.
Absolutely.
I've never been to
Yeah.
Virgin Islands.
What?
And I
What's
think
13?
it's one
It's
of
up to
those.
15 now.
Oh, nice.
It's one of those stories that are probably has been created for us conspiracy theorists. I mean, I think it could be one of those, like the whole island thing and all the celebrities, all the mystique around it, and
Right.
and
The
and it's
travel
just
law.
That's I mean, that's
Yeah.
undeniable. Even if it's completely real, there's definitely been a complete media narrative created about it from multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
Every perspective you can take is a media created narrative, whether it's through conspiracy marks or through the mainstream media or whatever. So that's 100%
Yeah.
accurate, I'd say.
But
And
we've
it's
got
still
James.
going on now.
James,
Uninstalled media.
James, did
Am I
Epstein
next?
kill himself?
Well, I mean, gut reaction, no. But let's not forget, of course, yes, there is this whole narrative that's been spun most recently, but let's not forget about the sweetheart deal back in 2007, what it was. I think when Acosta basically got him off on all the charges
Right.
down there in Florida. And that never broke in the mains. That never was like a big story, was it?
Yeah. So
You're saying even though
obviously,
Trump was president and Acosta was his attorney general or whatever,
Yeah.
that
And
even though the liberal
obviously-
media hates Trump, they never even broke the story
Obviously,
that he got the sweetheart deal.
I think this guy had some history, and I don't think he committed suicide in prison. I think it's all shady as shit, and I don't.
Okay, so you're a mainstream conspiracy take on it. That's, I mean, this is what I'll say about it. If it's real, then I think that is probably the accurate take. If it's all legit, you know what I mean. So what I can do is I can consider multiple thought experiments, and one is like if what we're presented to is factually what happened, not the narrative, but like just the evidence, then I'd say that you are probably pretty spot on. And anyone that takes that. That doesn't mean that any of it's real or not real. I think there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, though. There's a whole lot of narrative there, and there's a lot of stuff like you mentioned that never got talked about. Then what the fuck is the point of having all that backstory and all that stuff happening at the time? The depositions and stuff. Part of that sweetheart deal was that he was able to go to prison, and then he only had to go to prison on the weekends, and only for like he didn't have to go for like 8 hours of the day or something because he was able to work. Then there's like he was after all that happened, after he was a convicted pedophile, sexual offender, he then like started doing like there's all these interactions with all these elites and stuff. I don't follow Epstein stuff because it's so dark, and but that's really that's my whole take on it. We are rejoined.
Well, and the Epstein. Well, let me just say the Epstein thing is over now because now it's all about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys see that the other day? She got they're like there was a picture of her. And she's got a black eye now.
I saw in the Inquirer that her fellow inmates are complaining because she will not bathe and she smells like some sort of wild animal.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's a star muse.
That's what they said. That's what they said about her.
She's doing
father,
it to be
too.
obnoxious. No. She's like she's not bathing on purpose. She refuses to flush her toilet and stuff because she wants to be as obnoxious as possible, according to the National Enquirer.
Well, they broke the OJ.
Are you like one of those?
That's a truther magazine.
I was
right
gonna
there.
say, like, remember Men in Black? They're like, that's
National
where you
Enquirer
get
is
the
a very
information.
reputable news source.
That's where the scoop is, the real scoop.
The thing is, though, I think that that's partially a true story, but I think that it's only the cover art, not the articles.
I mean, they definitely do it. They create entertainment through that, but they also are doing research. I mean, that's undeniable that there's reporters there. It's not all. It might not all be fiction. So I actually have never read the Enquirer, but I love the idea that like that's probably like the tabloids are the most real. And now that I think of it, back when I was like a kid, the tabloids did say a lot of things that like now I kind of believe are true, and I just
Boy,
never...
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
a good point. And they were just called
World's fattest woman eats her children. Absolutely.
Oh, you're thinking of the Weekly World News. No, I only buy them because I'm getting back into an old hobby of mine where I cut them up and make them into collage art.
Oh, into letters you send to celebrities with threats.
Yes,
Oh.
actually, I've been
The
cutting
eyes
out
are
and
burned
collecting
out.
the words snitched, snitching, and snitches.
Uh-oh.
Because that word gets used in like, I don't know, 70% of their articles. At some point the word comes up and it's always in a different font or color. And it looks really good when you've got maybe 200 of instances
that's
of it
awesome.
and you put it all together.
I like that. That's cool because it also it almost shows like how like what it's just like a commentary on like you noticing the patterns of like the common used words or if there's a narrative or whatever. But I love that. I loved it.
A bit of phenomenology, as it were. Phenomenology.
Yeah.
So
This is not my show though, so I'm going to shut the fuck up.
So we got
No, you got to keep.
we got Shimmy back here. She left for a little bit. Shimmy, are you back?
Hello.
Did you guys
I am
get
back.
offended at our initial question? Is that what happened?
No, there was just some hair happening. We were doing some hair. So.
Okay, I'm so sorry that I asked that question.
Oh God, I forgot that you do hair. I thought you meant like other
hair.
kind of hair.
I'm so sorry.
Pubic hair?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry that I asked you to explain what you were doing. That's not interesting.
Oh.
But
I was
These
thinking about
questions
rabbits.
are a little hairy.
Rabbit hole.
What do you use? Do you use scissors? Scissoring for hair?
Yeah.
Scissoring.
Yeah, are you scissoring right now?
That's a good
They were
one.
scissoring.
We were
Oh.
scissoring, that's
Jesus.
for sure.
Okay.
Fantastic.
This is a family show. We got
No,
children.
it's not. You're lying.
Children love this show. Children love this show.
What's the
I've
next
been on.
question?
I've been on for approximately 27 minutes ish, and I've drank 4 beers already. And
Oh my
and the way I'm able to do this, let me tell you something. The way, actually three and a half.
Alcoholism?
The way I'm able to do this is I pour the beer into a small glass, what might be called a highball glass, and what is called a highball glass? Actually, it's a rocks glass. I'm sorry, I'm a
What
fucking
doing
liar.
right now? Are you trying to throw off the conversation about what is this beer?
Derailing.
Where's the question?
No, I'm just giving
On
you
to the next question, everybody.
I'm giving advice.
Hold on.
Advertising
Mute him,
Bud
you know.
Light.
I've-
That's an advertising.
I'm randomly generating another number at the moment, and the number is number 1. All right, big number 1. Oh my goodness. So here's the problem. Number 1 is the only item on the list that's not a question, so that means every question's been off by 1 number. So I can't just go to number 2 assuming that it would be number 1 because then everything else would be wrong. But there are no rules, so we're going to do that. So question number 2 then would be, this is generally related to, this is kind of Epstein-ish related, these kind of conspiracies. What's everyone's take on adrenochrome? Dead Kelly, are you an adrenochrome truther?
Yeah, I think that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk of bullshit, if you ask me. I think that's wow. That's some.
That's
good
easy,
luck,
right?
Good luck if you're leaning on that in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, so what you've done there, that's you may have shamed somebody here. What if somebody was ready to share their truth, and now you literally just let them know they're a retard if they believe it, which I don't agree with. I don't believe.
Can we define our terms though? What when you say believe? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be obstinate.
Do you think adrenochrome is a real thing? First of all, do you think it's a physical thing?
It is. Everyone knows it's a physical thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
not medically.
Isn't it just drinking blood?
No,
Is it like
the concept is that, and we're not going to use it in the context of children because I don't like that kind of stuff really. I love it. No, because I don't want to get. Okay, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say I don't want to get horny, but that's so far over the line.
Oh my god, this is just spinning out of control.
So Epstein is alive, you're saying here.
So
Welcome.
what it is the concept is like in goats, you scare the goat and then it gets in shock and its adrenaline rushes and then you kill the goat and then the blood has adrenaline inside of it. And the concept is that this happens to humans as well for torture rituals and blood drinking ceremonies. So initially, before we get anything else, you'd have to first believe that adrenochrome is a physical thing. It is an actual scientifically proven, or it's a thing at all. Is there anyone here that actually believes that adrenochrome is real? Not.
I subscribe to that idea.
I had thought it was real. I'm looking at the wiki right now. Let me dig into it. Am I going to be proven that it's fake here?
Well, he's doing his own research there. I would like to point out that there are other forms of ingesting bits of horror that have nothing to do with adrenochrome. And if you look at the skull drinkers, using people's skulls, to drink during ritual, the skull of a murderer is far more powerful, according to people that believe that kind of thing, than the skull of somebody who, died a happy old age and lived a full life. And,
what do you mean by the skull? You mean like the whole skull? Or... Oh.
No, there's like gold lined skull tops.
Yeah, the old skull chalice. Yeah.
So a lot of people reference adrenochrome. They say they heard about it like in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas initially.
Fear and Loathing, yeah. So it must be true.
Right. It was actually, I think, yeah, here we go. First written about in an essay in 1954 from Aldous Huxley. An essay titled The Doors of Perception, written mostly about his experience with mescaline, discussed the possibility that adrenochrome is a compound with similar effects to psychedelic cactus. So there are people that believe it, so that's fine. ID, are you an adrenochrome truther?
No, not whatsoever. I think it's really just a conjuring of anxiety and stress, because what they're really focusing on is your stress, and that's cortisol and your adrenal fatigue, just from dealing with the stress of life, and especially now during this time. I think aren't there hints that is actually tied to the pedophilia and the Jeffrey Epstein kind of stuff in the queue, right? Is there, or no?
Yes,
that's what we said we weren't going to get into. That's what we said we weren't going to go into. Yes.
Well, but that's important because you've got this character who's born on January 20th. He's Saturn. It's Jeffrey Epstein. He's the eater of the children, the eater. So, and they're harvesting. Remember Alex talking about them killing babies and so forth. So we're just talking about father time here. It's not a big. It's pretty simple. It kind of breaks down to something. It's just a cycle of time story.
Talking about it.
No, it doesn't mean anything to me.
So
he's talking about it.
Real quick, I have pulled up right now the Pub Chem NCBI National Laboratory of Medicine webpage regarding adrenochrome, and they claim that it is a real compound. It's, let's see, anything about it. 3-hydroxy, 1-methyl, 2, 3, whatever. We're not going to get into that. That's gay. Nothing gay. That was rule number 1, was nothing gay. There's not really a whole lot going on it. It's just a bunch of chemical compound discussion. The acute effects.
Not for COVID.
It says that it's not related to COVID-19. It does specify that, actually, which is very funny. Yeah, this is just a bunch of Mark shit. I'm not going to get into that.
You're on the cdnsciencepub.com paper. That's what I've been looking at. Yeah.
Did you find anything on that was interesting?
Well, like it's a process thing. I thought it was always just like a byproduct. I didn't ever. Right. I wasn't ever sure, or sold on like its effect and all that stuff. But I thought, from I guess like lack of due diligence, that it was actually just a thing that was produced biologically.
Oh, and then know it was synthetic. Okay.
No, I didn't. I didn't know that part. I thought it was just
what I was going to bring up to people when someone says, when I was asking if people believe it, because I did know that officially, just to clarify, if anybody's going to anonymously bomb my house for saying this, it is not officially accepted to be a real thing.
Do you mean, is it, when you say synthetic, do you mean it's separated from something, or do you mean that it's some things are combined to create it?
Yeah.
Externally.
It's like I believe it's a thing that's like it can be created in a lab. It can be. I don't think it's something that you actually can take from a person. I don't think that's a real thing.
Well, I didn't think it had any kind of like psychic power or anything like that. I just thought it was like saying like I don't know, bile or something like that. I thought it was just some kind of biological process, not having to do with like, you know, I just thought all along it was a word used as a dressing for something, you know, for the whole narrative. I didn't think people had needles stuck in them to extract it.
This is what's interesting though, and full disclosure, is that it's not 100% clear to me that it's a chemical compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline, which is epinephrine, in solution. Adrenochrome is pink, and further oxidation of the compound causes it to polymerize into B, blah, blah, blah. It has been implicated in cardiotoxicity. It is a short-lived whatever, skip. We need to get stuff that we can understand.
But then they start getting into like the application of it and stuff. Like, yeah, it's cures for our treatment of schizophrenia, things like this. It's like, well, where's the part where you affirm that it's real?
That's
that's kind of what I was looking for.
Drinking that kind of shit, you're not trying to cure schizophrenia.
I wouldn't think so.
It seems like you're trying to bring it on.
Good point. That's so funny. Okay, we're gonna move down the list, get some more opinions here. ID gave his LSP. Are you an adrenochrome truther?
Yeah, so I have this one drug dealer. I call him my exotic drug dealer. He gets everything. He can get anything. Anything.
You can get
like
adrenochrome?
DMT, MDMA. He never heard of it. He never heard of adrenochrome. Can't get it. You can't get it on the black market for a good drug dealer. So
okay, so now we've got
say
some field
it might
evidence.
exist. It might exist in medical lore or whatever the doctors do with their, all that scientific people stuff, but I don't think it can get you high, or I don't think it's got a street value. So I think that's all made up. It's like a fantasy kind of a thing. It might just have medical uses only. That's my opinion.
How about you? We're joined now by Ophalis, popularity contest podcast Discord member. Ophalis, how are you doing tonight?
Let's move on.
Don't trip.
Yeah,
I walked away for 5 minutes. I missed whatever was leading up to
we were
my
just
name.
asking how you're doing tonight. We were just introducing you to the marks at home.
Oh, luxurious.
Now you got to make sure you're appropriate, because this is mostly children watch this.
I'm always appropriate.
Yeah, my children. This is what I raise. This is our homeschooling. I just replay them episodes of the podcast.
So much better than my schooling.
I tie him to a chair.
Super dad.
I tie him to a chair, and then they
Like
watch me try to read
Lost
chemical
with the
compounds.
Brainwash.
Have we covered critical race theory yet?
We have not covered
Jeez.
critical race. That's its own episode. We can do. That's gonna be its
is
own
about to go
episode.
on mute. Ophalis is about to go on permanent mute. Let's move on. Whose next turn is it?
You're next. You gave your
Can
opinion.
we
I
ask
think,
Dead
yeah.
Kelly?
Oh,
I'd
okay.
like to listen to
Shimi.
Dead Kelly
wanted-
speak a little bit.
I did want to say,
Is that like Is that like a sexy thing, or?
Yeah, because I would just kind of like to hire him to read the phone book.
Oh, he's fantastic. I know his voice is
What a
absolutely wonderful.
fella!
If he looks,
Oh, too nasal, man.
Dead Kelly?
Oh no, sorry, I thought you meant a fella. Dead Kelly voice. Lovely.
Oh,
hilarious.
Let's move.
Hello.
Okay, move down on
Kelly
Shimmy.
voices on me.
Apologies.
Shimmy, give me your adrenochrome take. What's your hot take on adrenochrome? You know anything about this?
I do. I was thinking that there definitely is some dark spiritual aspect to it.
No shit. Oh my god.
I think there is like that spiritual
Agreed.
realm, and there's people that cross that line, and I think that it does deal with some like dark beings and entities.
Well, I will concede that anyone that is participating in this knowingly, you're absolutely spot on. Now, whether or not that's a mystical experience or the psychological nature of what it means to be a person willing to do that, like Harkview mentioned, it's the same shit in the end, right? Demons are, whether they're real or it's a state of being, of being overtaken by the mentality, a demonic mentality, it's all the same shit. It doesn't really matter in the end if it's real or not, because the outcome is the same, and it's like it's a spiritually broken person. So it really doesn't matter. You might as well be right, even if we disagree on the how legitimate the mystical aspect of it is. I'm 100% in agreement with you. That if someone's participating in that, it's fucked up.
Simp.
That's
Sam. Oh, him. Okay. But I was going to say, you know how there's like white magic, black magic? There's a lot of like witchcraft stuff that deals in that realm. So I do think that there is the darkness and crossing over to that. That's what I would associate it with.
You're like a voodoo person, huh?
Me personally, no, but I'm aware of a lot of different dark stuff that happens. Okay. People do a lot of different dark things. Not I.
Are you aware of it from like daytime television?
No, I mean, I've been around a lot of different types of people that are into. There's like Santeria. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
I'm so familiar.
Hispanic voodoo.
I mean, there's a lot of like weird stuff. So.
I ain't got no crystal ball.
But this is my 2 cents. Don't be judging it.
That's no.
Okay,
First of all, that's all we're doing. Don't ever. Yeah, that's the only. Don't take away the one thing that we're only doing. Okay, because then we wouldn't be doing anything. Judging is the only thing I'm doing right now. I have to be doing something, and doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with that. Skylarkin, I know you're an adrenochrome truther.
Wow, I'm kind of on the fence, and I'll say why. Because
you could be right.
During the discussion, I fluctuated a bit because things have come back to my drunken memory. So, I mean, I think it's like an ancient tradition. I assume it's something that people used to do. You know, people like Shimmy says. You know, people that are into the dark arts and shit. You know, because I do think there is juju and voodoo, and in Jamaica we call it obia, you know. There's this dark fucking presence around us all the time. So I think it is possible in that respect. However, lately it's been presented to us in mainstream media. There was I can't remember if it was a Turkish news report or it was somewhere anyway in Europe. A report, where a news report where they were talking about adrenochrome and the celebrities were using it and everything. Plus, you've got the Q narrative as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that just, like ID says, you know, that sort of adds stress and anxiety. So that adds confusion to the mix presently, you know. But then you've got the film Fear and Loathing as well, which it was mentioned in, which was years ago. So that adds even more confusion. So I think, to answer the question, I think it is a possibility, but we don't know to what extent it is. And that's it.
So
it's as real as Eye of Newt.
No, I think the consensus is that nobody is
possible.
If I may, I think the consensus seems to be that nobody's arguing whether or not the effects are real. That's not the consensus around here. It's really like it could be a thing that people are participating in, whether the effects are real or not. But in doing so, that's an evil fucking thing. Which people do participate in that kind of shit. Black magic, like they both mentioned. I mean, that's undeniable. There are marks out there. Now the question is, which we don't know the answer to, is are elites practicing this, and does it work? Because
Sorry, could I just add something? Because apparently
if it does, we got to figure out how to bottle that shit and start selling it with a nice little label.
I ain't gonna be
like Tear of the Dragon, like Dragon Tears, or
I mean, it doesn't actually have to be, you know, the adrenochrome from a tortured child. It could just be, you know, some sugar water.
Can I just add something? Because apparently from these mainstream reports, one that I've heard and a few that I've read, they've said that it's like the highest high you can get from any fucking drug, like more than heroin, which they've always deemed as like the highest high, you know.
But that's all speculation.
I mean, there's that.
But go try and buy some, man.
Well,
Yeah, but this is what I mean.
Get it, man.
But
somebody look up a description of what it feels like. Like, is there any description of what it's supposed to do?
I'm not going to read that shit. No, that's too.
Well, I'm
too
saying
dark.
I've never even.
Well, let's
what's
get
it
to
supposed to
James.
do?
Let's get
Everybody
to
knows what
uninstall
pot
media.
does.
Let's get to uninstall media. Who has to wait until very last every time?
Well, it depends.
While everybody
on,
throws their
it depends on
15
if he's.
hints in.
Go ahead.
I would say that every point that I would have made has already been brought up, so I'm ready to move on.
Smart people, or very stupid, or very stupid. We are either very smart or very stupid.
It's interesting, but
or he's over the question.
Well, he's right. I mean, what else could there be to say? It's like either.
Well, it's about fear and the amygdala, your adrenaline, epinephrine, all these things, the fight or flight. Right, that's for sure. I mean, even if there isn't any drug at all, just talking about it, right, and that spreading of the insecurity and anxiety is enough to sweep across to pandemize.
It's the energy.
Right, it's
a
about
dark
Juju.
energy.
But that's for sure. We can say that.
Yeah,
add to that
it's a
whatever
dark
facts.
energy.
I don't know. Where are you going to get your facts? Give me some adrenochrome, and then I'll consider.
Even discussing it is dark.
That's what I'm
horrible,
saying. That's why,
let's go. All right, let's go.
ID's like, can we get a very specific description read to us? I'm like, no, not on my computer.
It's a derivative of adrenaline that occurs in the body. Said
like a couple months ago.
Gotta go on the dark web for that shit, bro.
No, he's talking about reading a description of what people claim the feeling is, which I don't want to do. I'm not.
The feeling is this. The feeling is talking about it. Again, it's just about stress. So.
Right. No, that's fair. And I'm feeling that stress.
Okay.
Well, that's the argument.
Wait. Harry's videos.
I can hear that the host is trying to usher us out, but I'm sorry, everybody, but I have to just say, except for this one here, my favorite party that I ever went to was one where my partner and I decided that it would be hilarious to serve this sort of exotic non-alcoholic beer. It didn't say non-alcoholic on the label, and we just sat back and watched everybody get drunk as fuck. It was so great.
Placebo effect, yeah, the placebo effect.
When I used to have house parties, like in my band would play shows, we used to get buy the cheapest kegs we could because I would charge people $5 at our the house to come watch the bands and party, and all you can drink beer, and I'd get the cheapest, crappiest Keystone Light beer. That I would, and then I would, while I was at the liquor store purchasing the keg, I would steal the cap keg off of a high-end beer, and I would just set it right next to the keg, so everyone thought they were drinking the good stuff. And people are retarded, especially a bunch of young people. They're all pretending they're like, "Oh, this is so good." I'm like, "You're
this is delicious."
Yeah, it's barely not cat piss.
Yeah.
It was
the reason why I even brought that up, though, is the placebo effect. And I think that a lot of people that would participate in such a horrific kind of thing for their own benefit or for whatever social currency comes with being accepted into that kind of group.
That's a good point.
Maybe there's nothing to it, but in their minds, they have really taken the plunge.
Right. And even if you're right. That's a good point.
And that's why I think the media have put it out recently, and that was my point. I think it could be an ancient thing that people did because I don't bypass that as a theory. People used to do mad shit, or they do it in their communities or whatever, or it's not known to us in the Western world or whatever it may be. But the media have all of a sudden, linked it to the Q theory and Epstein's Island and all the celebrities that were around that, and the fact that they've given us something
In the media's defense, they could not deny the QAnon stuff any longer. And when you have regular marks who are reporters digging into the QAnon stuff to make the QAnon people look ridiculous, they're going to come across that and they're going to have to report on it and say this is the kind of stuff they're talking about. So that could be an organic thing that gets put into the media based off them acknowledging it and just sending their reporters out there to be like, go dig up, what are these Q people talking about? Oh my God, they all talk about adrenochrome. What is that?
Q is just a Q is just a vacuum that sucked up every conspiracy theory and put it under one umbrella.
Yeah,
that's what Q
the
is.
most ridiculous
branding.
Absolutely.
And it's a repeat
under
of
one canon. Yeah, all the worst things, the most ridiculous, all in one place. Every fucker is lumped under Q now. If you don't believe in the COVID vaccine, you're in the Q bracket, aren't you? It's everything is under that umbrella. So
And
yeah, I see what you mean.
also, there's data to back up how well this works with the flat Earth stuff too. Because there was like a time where they were like, how you could definitely check those metrics out to be like, oh, if, when somebody gets accused of being a flat Earth person or associated to a flat Earth person, what that does to them, what it does to their notoriety and their clicks, and then they're like, well, it works with the flat Earth stuff. Let's do it with the Q stuff too. I can see that. Okay, real quick though, we're going at like an hour 20. I'm gonna do one question because I don't just want to end on adrenochrome. I stopped at question number 30, and we're gonna go ahead and hopefully it's a good one. Okay. Let's see.
No, it sucks. Do it again. Do it again.
Okay.
Spin it again. Spin it again.
No. This is just a regular. This is a fun one. We'll end on this.
Are you checking off which ones we've already read, so we've got more for next time?
Yes, I am, and we do have plenty more for next time. So we haven't even gone through it.
OG, I wish that OG could take his mic out of his pants.
You got to tell me this stuff. I didn't know. I don't know.
Mute thyself.
Okay, so we're gonna go one last question. This is kind of a fun one. Is there existence of extraterrestrial life that is being covered up, in your opinion? This may be a polarizing question. We're gonna start at the bottom this time, so that Uninstall Media doesn't have all of his ideas taken away, and we're gonna see if Dead Kelly has the gumption to prove Uninstall Media wrong, that there is still something to bring to the table. Uninstall Media, what are your thoughts on aliens?
Well, that's not the question. The question is there existence of an extraterrestrial life that
is being covered up?
Read it again.
Is there
being covered up?
Extraterrestrial life that is being covered up?
I don't fucking know, dude. I don't fucking know. How would I know?
It's your opinion.
If it's being covered up, I wouldn't know.
Do you believe that stuff?
You were a fakeologist.
Not anymore. No. Okay. I used to. I used to believe that shit, but not anymore.
Okay. What changed your mind on that stuff?
Because I realized most of the people in that realm are just hucksters trying to sell conference tickets.
Right. So most of the information you're coming across, at the very least, is just so questionable. So it becomes like impossible.
It's just pandering.
Right.
It's just pandering. Yeah.
That's fair. Skylarkin, are you?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have an elaborate.
No,
it's
fine.
That's
perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. No. There's some stuff is like just not everyone cares about all the topics, and that's part of the fun of this. Is like you see which people have like looked into it.
I used to care. I mean, I grew up watching X-Files. Like I was totally into that shit, man.
Right. Skylarkin, what is your take on that?
Not anymore.
I've got no idea, but I think now, I sort of think, by the number of films and TV series telling us that there is life, I think the opposite. And that's my principle now with everything. I just think the opposite of what's really happening. So, so I think there isn't any.
Okay, that's fine. No, that's I expect that kind of a common answer, actually. OS, what is your take? You used to be a huge alien mark, like James. Are you currently an extraterrestrials are real person? Are you?
I don't
on the
think
show
he
right
realizes that his mic is muted.
It depends, man. No, I don't believe that aliens from other planets and stuff are real. But I do believe that if they were, that the government or whatever would cover it up.
Fair point.
I do believe. But I mean, I believe that UFOs are real. I mean, I have no doubt about that at all. I've had a freaking million, well, not a million, but I don't know how many UFO encounters, UFO experiences, like 100, I don't know, maybe 100 UFO experiences, or maybe 70, I don't know.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And despite and sorry to interrupt, but despite the fact that now there's all this like kerfuffle about the Tic Tac UFOs and shit and disclosure and stuff happening, I definitely believe that UFOs are real because I've seen some myself.
Sure.
I don't believe they're from space. I believe that they're from,
the government.
Well,
from Earth. From Earth, they're part of Earth.
Whether or not they're from space is an entirely different question. But there's definitely objects I've seen that are.
This is not a UFO's question. This is an extraterrestrials, because UFO is a lot of people think when you mention UFO, you're implying extraterrestrial, but
and I conflated them kind of
evidence of
deliberately,
aliens.
Right.
Phallus, are you an extraterrestrial truther?
I find it impossible to deny the existence of aliens, whether or not they've ever interacted with Earth. There's definitely UFOs.
Yeah, everybody laugh at our Phallus. Phallus, are you a multiverse person?
Not actively, but also can't deny.
Are you?
Well, it brings in the whole question of like, oh, you believe in space? You believe?
No. That's not the
galaxies and shit like that.
Yeah. No, that's. Well, it's clear we know his presuppositions, at least to a point, based off the fact that he said it's inevitable. So that's I was wondering how far it goes out.
If I think there's more universes than the one we inhabit, yeah, it's may as well be.
Okay, no, that's fair. So were you ever an alien, Mark? Like where you're like, that's my jam. I like researching that stuff.
No, my stance has been pretty consistent on it. There's definitely UFOs, and I can't imagine denying they exist somewhere. But all the evidence of like them being on Earth is really sketchy, and may as well be like government disinfo.
You calling me a liar? Is there a multiverse where you're in there and you're not a Mark? Yes. I wanted to get that one.
Inevitably.
That was a great
Marky-verse.
Great job.
Sorry, Phallus. Hey, LSP, I had to mute you earlier because you had all this background noise. I don't know if you muted yourself or it doesn't say that I've muted you anymore. So
yeah, you're gonna have to unmute so you can respond, LSP, about extraterrestrials and your take on them.
Hey, okay, so I don't think that like aliens like exist or that any of these UFOs are proven to be real or anything like that. But I'll tell you what, I have a hunch, and there's no good reason for me to think this, but I think that we might have living amongst us beings with greater than human intelligence that there's no way that we could figure it out. Like, because we might all be just unable to find them out.
The ant can't figure out the human. The ant doesn't know the human.
The goldfish in the goldfish in the water does not even know he's in
fly
water.
on the elephant.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I think there might be something
also,
like that going on, and that's why there's so much questioning that we do and stuff like that. Even though we're never going to be able to even get to the answers, but hey, I like questioning stuff. So, but I have a hunch that might be going on.
That's fair. No, that's a good take. Harkview, how about you?
Do I believe that aliens? Wait, can you ask me the question again?
Absolutely, no problem at all. Is the existence of extraterrestrial life being covered up?
No, and here's why. I can give you a definitive answer.
Ooh,
absolutely not.
Fantastic.
Have you been to the grocery store lately?
Yeah.
Have you? Okay, then. Enough said. Right? Yeah. It's not being covered up at all. Like, there's some fucking weird critters running around.
Oh, I see.
You know
your take isn't that they're not real or fake. It's like they're not covering it up is your take. That's fantastic.
They're not covering it up. There's some weird beings just cruising around in the public, and you gotta deal with that.
Now, extraterrestrial life, just for the sake of consistency, is defined as a hypothetical life which may occur outside of Earth and which did not originate on Earth specifically. So
absolutely, I can point to my junior high school principal and tell you for sure.
Your takes are like like 80s like B movie like awesome movies where you're like Among Us, like My Teacher is an alien, like
They Live,
Goosebumps movie books and stuff. That's fantastic.
They Live. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good take. What about you,
No,
guys?
no. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Sorry.
Okay, here's my real answer. No, I'm not done. God damn it.
Go ahead.
I think that definitely. I have to believe that. And I, I don't like that word, but there.
I want to.
There's a lot. The truth is out there, and
You're not gonna like it.
There's just NASA lies all the goddamn time. They lie about stuff that they don't have to, and there's so much footage of unexplainable crap, and they're like, oh. That's not an alien,
Right. Or they'll deny. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a fair take. No, that's perfectly fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay.
This is what I said, but I was called a mark.
You are a fucking mark. That's besides
exactly. The you are a fucking mark. Jesus Christ.
This is not. Did you? Oh, you thought that you were a mark for your take. You didn't realize.
Oh, it was just an
completely
opportunity.
unrelated.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Gaia? Are you a extraterrestrial guy?
Well, I'm glad that Mimi asked the question because I wanted to ask her to answer right, because I was going into my space travel is impossible for us and for anyone idea, but extraterrestrial life existing, yes, in the somewhere on other planets, other places, yes. Is it covered up? Well, going back to the last point, only their faces, the ones in the grocery store. But no, it's promoted, I would say. So is it there and is it promoted? Or is it not there and is it promoted? There are 4 options there, I would say. But I think it's there, yeah.
That's it. Okay, that's fair. No, that's a fair take too. This is actually I'm
also
enjoying this one.
the MUFON people.
We got one last one.
Really...
Dead Kelly, did everybody take your all your talking points? You have nothing to contribute?
I'll just give you my take on it. I say that hi everybody.
Yes, PCP dating.
Man, he is.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dead Kelly.
Yeah.
Hey,
oh
Scott.
my God! Don't heap it on. All right, go on, Dead.
Oh,
Dead Kelly.
Call them, man.
PCP. The P.
Mean
The last P
there.
for Dead
Best
Kelly
mean.
stands for pussy.
Oh,
Really? Really?
So my take on it is that it is being that. I guess you got. What are you going to ask yourself? What does extraterrestrial mean? And you've already broken that one down, Will. And then Earth. That what is Earth? Then that's opening up a can of worms when we're talking about conspiracy subjects. But I would say that yes, extraterrestrial life. The definition's pretty broad, so I'd say, yep, whatever it is in its truest, purest sense is known and it is covered up. Because I think that that's what I believe. There's something else going on here that you can't quite put your finger on, and it's not from here. There's and it's not literally spoken of. It's only alluded to. I guess believing in God would be believing in extraterrestrial life, and the consensus belief system, the canon that is in use at the moment doesn't include a God. It's all material. It's all matter, right? So,
that's true.
So that could be the cover up. The cover up. God is being covered up by materialism.
When Willie's read the definition, I was it struck me, my take on it about life originating, and they can get you in the fucking definitions, a lot can be revealed. So I might change my answer a bit to that too. But the alien thing is one thing, but life, I don't know. Did nature originate on Earth or whatever? I don't know. I think life is the origin of life, and if God is life, this is not. I don't know if the Earth was created first. I don't know any of those things. But
Nobody asked you.
that's why I have my own show. I'll mute all y'all. Don't edit those laughs out. Put silence in.
Oh, God.
I'll curate the history. Don't you fucking, I swear to God. 6 beers.
6 beers in. Don't you dare. I was about to get deep on have existential alien discussion.
Fucking derailed by Heartview Cinema. Talking about her fucking, a sex pest fucking junior high principal.
Yeah.
God damn it.
He's just still hung up on Bailey.
Who's Bailey?
We're not doing inside jokes here. Okay, we are wrapping it up. I will give my last point. My point, the only point I have on this is that when I was younger, anyone who believed in aliens was considered a conspiracy theorist, and anyone now who says they are not real is considered a conspiracy theorist, and that is a mainstream observation that I've made. I want to believe. In my heart of hearts, I say they're not real. That doesn't mean that's not an entity thing, that there might not be something else going on. At the same time, I think a really good point was that if they are real, the answer was, is it being covered up? They would absolutely be covered up. So it's not like they would just be sharing.
Except for when it's convenient to bring it up.
Yeah. So that's a fantastic point.
I would say if they are real, where's the evidence?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's what I always say.
Well, and if you read the National Enquirer, I mean, you'll learn that obviously Eisenhower met with the Greys in 1952. So,
dude, have you seen that movie? Have you seen that movie? Do you remember when that movie came out? That little short film that was supposed to be like Russian KGB top secret. Man, I was fucking swayed by that thing, big time, for years. I remember showing my wife that meme. No, I was. That's okay. I was a mark.
Does anyone want to talk about MUFON here? I mean, those people really
no, we're done.
Oh,
this was the show.
This is a terrible terrible question to end on. This is a terrible question to end on.
No, it's a fine question to end on. This is classic
massive.
Conspiracy theory. This is like we're going 90s conspiracy theory.
We could go for another hour and a half on it.
We're going to on the after show, and if people would join patreon.com/popularity contest podcast, they'd be able to join the Discord server and enjoy these kinds of conversations and participate in them, as well as participate in the after show.
That's right. And we got a lot of patriots over at Popularity Contest Podcast Discord, loaded with patriots from every country you can think of.
Mostly children.
We do. We're loaded. We're patriots. I don't know what to tell you. Speak for yourself.
Hold on. Skylarkin wants to say something. She's wasted. Skylarkin's ready to talk.
Oh, I need it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I was just shouting names at like a thug, like name your patrons, but you don't have to. I was just joking.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that. No, we're not doing that.
I was just being assertive.
We value your privacy
Millions
here.
of patrons, too much time. It's too much
That's
time.
right. Okay, anyway, we are going to wrap it up. That was a good time. We're going to continue this conversation. This roundtable discussion thing, this is a lot of fun. Everybody was fantastic. I would have every single person back here again if we could do it this way. We'll keep it going. Everybody, thank you all for coming tonight. It was a lot of fun participating. Dead Kelly Gaia, Heartview Cinema, LSP, Ophalis, Skylarkin, Uninstalled Media, and as always, Original Simulant can suck a dick. Later, everybody.